Hello, everyone. My name is Goshka Volnik, and I would like to introduce Gosha Shimba. Gosha is assisting people in learning about themselves so they can be more tolerant, more loving towards themselves and others, so in the end, they can heal themselves. Jutta Klipsch. Jutta is motivating women who are separated or divorced to become unstuck, to reinvent themselves, so they can use their divorce or separation as a springboard to be best version of themselves. Myself, Goshka Volnik, I'm helping women in their 50s or 60s while living alone and who lost drive for living to fall in love in their lives again and find their real values. So today we will be talking about action and intention. My first question for today will be, what is better, good intention or good action? Gosha, what do you think?
As you know, I always start with a definition.
Oh my God, yeah, I have forgotten about that.
No.
No, it's good because it gives me a thread to expand if I know what I'm talking about. So intention is a mental state. Which represents a commitment to carrying out an action into future. It's a mental activity comprised of planning and forethought. So while I was doing some research on this topic on the internet, I encountered two schools of thought, so to speak. One which
philosophical,
yes,
yes.
which not so philosophical. One was saying that intention is everything, and you should judge actions by the intent behind it. And the second was saying that intent is just the mental planning, and we are judged by our actions. And I am more familiar with the second one because it's very similar to my Christian upbringing. And we have saying that the road to hell is paved with the good intentions.
I like it. I like it. All the times I have it in mind when I can't do something, I said, that's my another good intention. And the hell is full of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I am not so familiar with the other school, which says that man is not judged by his action, but the action, even bad ones, can be excused if the intent was good. So, I was starting thinking, like if you had bad intentions, but you do not follow them with an action, you are actually killing yourself with the mental pictures you are creating. If you have good intentions and you still don't follow with some action, you are a dreamer. If you have good intentions, but the action is not so good, you are just a bad planner. So, like, for example, if you prepared an elaborate cake and you suddenly learn that your guests are gluten intolerant, it's just bad planning and organizing. and I don't even want to go into bad intentions and followed by bad actions.
Too complicated.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, she go for
Who
her.
actually determines what is bad and good according to whose standard? Because that can be already different.
Yes, of course it could be.
Like,
of course it could be.
Like you might say, oh, my intention were really good, but somebody else said, no, that intention was really not good, So, I mean, good and bad is always like a little bit shaky, because depending who says what, you know.
Yeah, so we clarified what the intention is and if it is good or not. With the good one, they go to hell, apparently.
According to,
All right.
yeah.
When I was doing my research about action and intention, I just realized that actually it is intention and action. It's a foundation of coaching, because that's what we are doing with our clients. They have very good intentions, very good. They want a lot, but at one stage of their lives, they are stuck and they can't move forward to take action. So my interpretation of intention and action will be decide, act, and it's done. But it's easier to say than do it, because very often we have huge gap between who we are now and where we want to be in the future. And just to close this gap, it is this action. And without action, we can't actually be one person, because we are like in dissonance between where we are and where we want to be. And the moment we take action, we are whole.
Well, you know, you can have as many intentions as there's sand on the beach, but if you don't put action in it, the intentions don't mean jack, you know, like they don't mean anything. So, I mean, it is good to have intentions, but I mean, how many people have intentions and nothing happens? So, you know, like if you don't put your intention into actions, well, you know, it's really good to have intentions, but doesn't really do much, you know. So and I think there's different frames of intention and actions, because on the other side, when I think about it, for instance, you have an intention to have a conversation with somebody, okay? That's like two different outcomes of these conversations if you are intentionally doing this conversation or you don't have any intentions in this conversation. So the outcome will be very different. And you know, like if you have a certain intention for a conversation and you say, okay, let's be really intentional about this conversation, you be very much in a narrow thing and you're very much intentional and you're more focused. Whereas if you don't have any intention for this conversation, there's, you know, can be all over the place and there's no outcome, you know. So there's really, you can come really from many different perspectives about intentions and actions.
Yeah, I think that you know, your intention can be changed with the time frame, and that's what is very often happening when we procrastinate, because we have our intention, let's say, to write a journal today, and then we postpone it and we do 1 million other things, and then time elapse, and we didn't go to the destination we wanted to go because we changed our mind in between, or something happened. It could be someone visited you, which is not possible now when we have a coronavirus. We don't have those interactions. You never know. And then, you know, your good intention to write this journal today is gone, or it can be, you know, entry on your Facebook, whatever it is. So something in this period of time where we are and we wanted to be, something happened. It could be we change our mind, or other events happen. We could even forget what our intention was. And it happens with me sometimes in between, you know, kitchen and my study, when I go and then there is interruption and I totally forget what I wanted to do.
Well, you can have like one you know, like you have two people, the same behavior, but you have two different intentions behind it. So,
Oh.
you know, like you still have the same behavior, but, you know, for instance, I used to belong to this church, and they would once a month, they would visit their sisters. And, you know, some people just did it to take off their little statistics, and one really did it from their heart because they wanted to make a difference for the other person. So, you know, the outcome was still the same, but then I presume the quality of the behavior, was it really, you know, like the depth and the, you know, like, yeah, the depth of the behavior, was it really, you know, we can on the surface do something without intention, and then I think it has much more depth when we actually do it intentionally, like that conversational, like that action.
Yeah,
you know.
and Yuta, that's what you said. It reminded me. I met recently someone. This lady is from Japan, but here in Australia, she was teaching English for students from not English-speaking background, and I think it resonated very well with her, and she was able to really teach them very well. But what happened? She lost a drive for teaching because she discovered that there was no intention among the students to really love the language and to learn it. They want only to have a tick
Yeah,
that they
why?
pass the
Yeah,
exams.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
she, as a teacher, she said, I just couldn't do it. I lost motivation because those students, they just wanted to pass exam, and that was
Yeah,
their
what was the intent
intention.
of the thing? What, I mean, it's a little bit like the why. I mean, like when I was young, I did the evening school in Germany. I wanted to do like, it's sort of like a high school certificate, and I did for half a year, but I didn't really have a reason. Like there was no intention behind it. Like
Mm,
I didn't even have. Okay, gives me something to do, so I actually stopped because yeah, there was no intentionality behind it. Whereas when I was in Australia, I was 38 and did my high school certificate and actually finished it. It was because I wanted to study psychology. So there was an intention behind my action.
mm. Okay, ladies, I have a question for you. So what do you think the phrase intention in action means? Gosha.
Yeah, I think it was forged to just, as we were talking, you know, it was forged to just minimize this gap between intent and action. So whenever you come up with some notion or plan, you straight away go to action if you already have the intention clear. So you gave some examples, and I have an example as well. Several years ago, I wanted to improve my astrology and writing. So I started to post weekly astrology news and monthly horoscopes. And I do it diligently to this day. So I guess it's the intention and perseverance. So followed with action. It gives me satisfaction every time I do it, that I've done something well, and it forces me to expand my skills, and I need to push myself to do more and become better at it. So
But it is as well creating a habit, because if you do those
yes.
on a regular basis,
Yes.
and it is what we can achieve. Everyone, every single person can achieve something when starts with those little things. You know, it can be once a week. Monday, you know, like 10 o'clock, I write a blog, and then I post it the same day. And then when you repeat it, it is a habit. So there is intention behind it to become someone else, someone
But
new.
yeah, but it's also, as you say, you still have to push yourself sometimes. So it's still an effort. And when I did my VCE, you know, like, I mean, yeah, it was like sometimes no, like, especially I had one subject, German, and I hated it because it was so boring. But and you know, I persevered and I did my essays and blah blah blah. But afterwards, and you know, you go through it, you push yourself, and you do it when you even don't feel like it. But afterwards I read somewhere this sentence, and it's so true. And like some author, I don't know who, said, I hate to write, but I love to have written. And you know, I think that's very good, you know, because sometimes, you know, you hate to do it and you have intentions and you do it. And you know, I hate to write, but I love to have written, because after you done it and you have this accomplishment, it's just, you know, like, it's like, wow, you know, and that's how you grow. And, you know, do action. And as I said, intention in action. There's no, intentions don't mean anything if they don't process into action. Like faith without, isn't that like faith without action or something, doesn't mean anything? So yeah, the action or words, you know, you can say somebody you love them, if you don't show it in action, doesn't, you know. So action is the source of everything. I mean, source in ketchup and stuff.
We are looping now, just now. So I think we will come to the end of our short discussion about intention and action. So summarize everything. I think it is our mental state when we commit to something, and with this commitment we carry out an action. So we are doing. Simply say it is decide, act, and it's done. And it will be beautiful if we could do with everything what we do, that it is so simple.
I hate to write and I love to have written, remember.
Okay, so actually 3 of us are doing the same. We help people to take action, because if they are clear about their intention, then we guide them how to be in motion and do something what they really desire to do. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's empty again. Bye.